What is going on, guys? This is All Gaming with my review of Akame Got Killed episode 5, and this episode right here, it was just awesome because we finally seen my favorite female character in this series, and that is Esdeath. I love this character. She is so freaking awesome, and I am so glad that you guys finally get to see her and her amazingness, because I will say she will definitely work in this series because she is probably one of the most impressive females in anime manga history, and that right there I will bet on, and you guys will see what I mean, but that right there will be down the line. But the episode itself, it started off very feelsy because we have Tatsumi. He is now having a dream about his friends, and now it's like time for them to finally part ways, and of course Tatsumi does not want that, but this right here was like a pretty good farewell for them because we see that he like definitely want to hold on to them, but they're going one way, and besides he now has new friends and a family in Night Raid, so really he can let them go and they can now leave him because he's now in good hands. But even though Tatsumi still wanted them to come back and still be around, we see that this episode, it did get him some pretty good character development. But when he does wake up from his dream, we see now that like Sheele, she was there, sitting beside the bed, but she was asleep. But that was because she was going to be, his teacher for today. And we see now that like when she first woke up, her glasses fell and her eyesight, it is just so freaking bad because we see that she was actually, like saying good morning to that statue that like protected him in the first episode, and that right there, it was definitely funny to see that. But we see now that as the morning went on, we have Akame who actually arranged some fruit, and the way that she did that, it was pretty amazing because like the fruit, it definitely looked beautiful. She like did it in a really good way, and we see now that they were all eating it. But even though she had just made that fruit for them, she was already planning on making lunch. It was like some kind of tofu with like a meat bowl, and she's about having that with like fried chicken as topping. And we see now that like Lubok, he was the only one that was like against that because that right there was just too much meat. But the girls here, they actually liked that idea and they wanted her to do that. And that right there was like really funny because he said that the girls are Night Raid, they are really carnivorous because they like definitely like some meat. But now we go to Sheele and Tatsumi, who's training, and we see now that they actually like strengthening his body, because he had to swim with this like heavy armor on. You could just tell it looked heavy by like looking at him, and so we see now that like while he was doing that, we have him like once he was done with that, we have him coming out the water, and he like asked Sheele, like about what does she do here, because she did not have a job like anybody else, and we see now that the reason why she didn't have a job and she could like concentrate on training him is because when they did give her a job, she like always messed up. Like when she like cooking with Akame, she like burnt the meat, and that right there made Akame really mad. We see now that when she was like cleaning with Lubok, I mean not Lubok, but Bulant, she had made the mess even worse. And like when she working with Leone and they had to buy sugar, I believe when they had to buy salt, she bought like sugar instead, or maybe it was sugar but she bought salt instead. I definitely know it was like one of those situations. And when she was doing the laundry with Mime, we see that she actually had washed her accidentally, but Tatsumi did not mind that, and that right there was hilarious. But then we go more into her past, and we see now that that obviously she did grow up in the capital, but it was like the downtown district, and ever since she was young, she had been always clumsy and like bad at everything, because we saw her like in some restaurant and she actually spilled this food on somebody. And so because of how bad she was, people always said she had like a screw loose. But there was like this one friend that she actually made that had never mocked her, talked down to her, but she was just always so kind and nice. But sadly, like everything changed on one day when her ex came along, because he was like very angry for this girl to break up with him. And we see now that he was like high on drugs, and he actually started to strangle her. And even though that right there was like definitely extreme, we see now that like Sheele, she was actually pretty calm, and she had this knife, and you just see her, you know, cutting this guy's neck. And that right there, I am so glad they not censor that. To be honest, it's like this episode was like pretty much uncensored, because stuff you think they would, you know, they'll probably censor or edit some, they really didn't. So that right there is definitely a step in the right direction. But you just saw her cutting into this guy's neck, and to all the blood, you know, gushing out and getting on her. And that guy, he obviously, you know, he died instantly. But this girl, she was just so shaken up by that. Like after that whole day, you know, Sheele, she never saw her again. But like a few days later, like this guy's friends, because I believe like some kind of imperial officer, his friends, they had came to avenge him, and they told Sheele that they already killed their parents. Now I'm not sure how they found their parents. Now it's possible that they were talking about her friend, because maybe that right there they might throw something. I'm not really sure, but it's possible that they killed her friend, and that's why Sheele has not seen her. You know, it's like never saw her since that day. But we have Sheele still carrying in that like knife with her, and she actually used that to kill them all. And that right there was like pretty freaking impressive. Like the way she was fighting them, it was just so freaking awesome. I'm not gonna lie, that right there was some impressive stuff, because like that right there was like her first time fighting. And because, you know, of her having, you know, those like screws loose, it made her into this like really skilled killer. And now she can rid society of trash, like those people that like, you know, came after her for revenge. So that right there was like definitely, you know, pretty impressive. But now we have Blue Line, who like came out of nowhere. Like, I'm not sure how long he was there, but he was like definitely in the water swimming as well. And he said that, you know, that like tossing me, he was actually doing a pretty good job. But then we have all the assassins. They are now meeting up because like in the preview last week, we saw now that they actually took Zank's, you know, like Imperial Arm. Like they when they defeat like Imperial Arm user, they will take it, and if they can't, then they'll just destroy it. And because Tatsumi is the only one that didn't have one yet, because it's only one Imperial Arm per user, because it takes a lot of, you know, like mental and physical strength, you know, to use one. So only one person can use it. And so Tatsumi, if he could have used it, it would have been possible that he could have had Zank's. And we already know that, you know, that like this Imperial Arm, it had 5 different powers, but only 4 of them we knew about. So like Tatsumi had gotten it to activate its last ability, and this ability right here, it allows him to see underneath like women clothes and see like their like lingerie. And when he first did it and he started freaking out, that right there was hilarious. And you could tell that like this Imperial Arm, it would have been perfect for him or a character like Lubok, who we all know is a pervert. But the problem was that like Tatsumi, he was not compatible with it, so it kind of like rejected him. And when it does that, it like drained him out of all his energy. So obviously that right there was definitely not a good sign. And so now that he can't use that, they put him sending it to the Revolutionary Army, so that way they could analyze it and find someone who was like compatible with it. But they actually had this book of all these Imperial Arms that they had come across so far, and they had information on. And so now, you know, like Tatsumi was like going through it, and some of them you should definitely keep a close eye on, because, you know, later on in the episode, you know, Tatsumi even said that like one of them he saw in the book. And so now after that, you know, like, because Tatsumi is now thinking that these Imperial Arms, like, they are so godly, he thinks that he could possibly find one that will actually allow him to bring back the dead. And that right there kind of caused everybody to go silent, and they all got like pretty serious, because you just saw like this dark look on their faces. And obviously, you know, like obviously there is not one that can bring back the dead, because they actually made a pretty good point. If an Imperial Arm like that actually exists, then obviously the first Emperor would have used that to bring himself back time and again. And because that right there does not exist, he cannot bring back his friends, and he should, you know, give up on that. But he was wondering, you know, like, what was the strongest Imperial Arms out there. and like their boss, she was saying that it really depends on how compatible you are with it, because the more compatible you are, the stronger it will be. But if she had to pick one, then it would be the one to control ice, otherwise known as Esdeath. And I gotta say, that right there can be true, but we see now that right now Esdeath, she is now fighting a war in the north, and there's like this like really strong guy there that like should be able to deal with her, because we have Lublock saying that like even if Esdeath is there, it should like take them a year at least to like end the battle in the war. I mean in the north. So that right there, like goes to show you, like how much they got hyped up this guy. And just to see, like how low he fell, that right there, was like really something. But obviously, after all that talk about the Imperial Arms and about how Tatsumi should like give up on bringing his friends back because it just won't happen, we see now that when it got late at night, he was like at their graves and he couldn't sleep. But we have Sheele, she had now came across him. And we see now that like she was trying to comfort him, because Tatsumi was trying so hard not to give up hope, but now he pretty much have to. But we have Sheele who were like holding him and confronting and comforting him, and she told him that like she won't tell anybody else that he can cry as much as he wants to. And that right there was like definitely nice of her, because he would like wonder if it's like really okay for his superior to be so nice to him, because so far we have seen how the other treat him, and it been nothing like that. But now we actually go to how the battle in the north is going, and we see like most people they're like frozen solid, and we just see these guys like hanging up. We saw one guy like missing part of his torso and his arms, and we just see like this soldier, their leader, that they were hyping up. He was now licking the boots of Esdeath, and that right there was like pretty freaking crazy. But like after all that, she actually goes as far as to kill him, and they don't say like how long it really took, but that war right there, with the North, it was over so freaking quick. And now we actually go back to the capital itself, and we actually learned that like two of their generals, they have now left the capital, and they have now gone to join the Revolutionary Army. So it goes to show you that like people in the capital, they definitely know that like things are definitely getting bad, and so they like do want to get out of there before they can be killed, because we saw that the people in the capital, they have no problems killing you, even though you could be so high up. And so now we see that everybody was like panicking, and so we have the Emperor. He was like trying to be the voice of reason, but we also have the Prime Minister chiming in there as well, because this guy was acting like he actually cared about this, because he was saying that like he is so stressed out because of all the people like betraying him and what's going on, that he's like gaining weight. But it's not like it mattered, because this guy is like already freaking fat, so it's like it's pointless to worry about that. But now he actually wants to bring back Esdeath, especially now because she ended the battle, she ended the war in the north. He now wants to bring her back to hunt down Nightbreed and the army, and we have everybody like really worried about that, and they thought about bringing the I believe it was the Commander General. Like this guy is like really high up, and he pretty much like runs the authority when it comes to the capital. And like and the Prime Minister was saying that that right there would be an insult to have him waste his time going out there to hunt Nightbreed and stuff, where he could have Esdeath, who is like kind of on his level but like not quite. She can do it, and that right there like won't really hurt her as much as it would hurt him. But then we go back to Tatsumi and Leone. Like now it's Leone day, to train Tatsumi, because I now remember, at the beginning of that episode, when they were all eating that fruit, we have Leone calling dibs on teaching Tatsumi next. And so now when they were out, we had to go into like this like nice district at first, but then out of nowhere, like while they were talking, we had the people call out to Leone, and it was these men that actually want to get like some payback on her, because not only did she like skip on her tabs, she hustled one of them. They all just want to get payback. So now her and Tatsumi, they have to run, and while they're running, they actually get split up. And so when Tatsumi is alone now, we see that there's a girl, and oh my god, I freaking hate her, but you guys will see why later on. Like this girl Seryu, she now catches eye of him because he is lost, and apparently her justice radar, it was going off. So now she approaches Tatsumi and she does want to help him, but right away he notices, like her dog. I believe she called it like Koro, for a nickname. But this dog thing, she like recognizes that it is an Imperial arm, and when like Tatsumi learns that she's actually an Imperial officer, he immediately thinks back to Ogre, because we all know that like Tatsumi is the one that had killed him. And so when Seryu here was actually going to help Tatsumi, we see now that like when they were holding hands, Koro here, he got really jealous. Like this dog was like so freaking jealous. And so we see now that, to comfort him or to calm him down, we have Seryu actually going to him and holding him. And so we kind of get like this little backstory about her. Through a couple of flashbacks. Like the first one was seeing her actually learn how she actually became partners with Koro, because we just saw these body bags because these people, they were not compatible with him. And so when she actually was, like she said, it was because that like Koro had responded to the justice in her heart, and that right there is like probably BS. But we see now that like after that we get like this other flashback. I believe it was like after she helped Tatsumi get back to where he was, and like she had left him. We see her, running because she was actually going to feed Koro. I believe she said like 500 death row prisoners. Now that number right there could be wrong, but I do believe that right there is what she said. But we saw her thinking back to Ogre, like he was like training her, and we see now that like Seryu, she had really wanted to get stronger. And like Ogre knew somebody that had like wanted to like do this experiment, because Seryu believed in justice, not only because of her father, like what he said when he died in the line of duty, but because she wanted justice to like rule the world pretty much. And so no matter how much pain she had to go through, because Seryu even said that, Ogre even said that if she does this, then like she will suffer great pain, but that right there she not care about at all. So it goes to show you, how far she will go. But it's like really ironic how she actually wanted to get revenge on the person she just helped. And it seems that a preview for like next week, we will see what like Koro can do as they actually get into a fight. So that right there is something to like really look forward to. But this episode, it was like really good, because we finally get Esdeath, and that right there, I'm going to get the episode a 10 out of 10. Now I know that right there is extremely biased, but you know what, I don't really care, because I'm going to do what I want to do, and to me, this episode is a 10 out of 10. But of course, I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this. And as always, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because it really helps me out. And you guys take it easy, and I will see you all next time.